Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you tonight, and sorry that I didn't do a video majority of the day. I would have, but I had a lot of errands to run and unfortunate news to tell you guys. Um, which I'll get to the unfortunate news probably by the end of this video, but I want to focus on the topic at hand, which is for the Imagine Dragons album ranking video. Which is going to be from worst to best for their albums, or kind of best, I guess you could say. So I'm going to discuss what I'm going to be talking about in this album ranking video. And sorry if I pause for a second. I've been dealing with a lot today. So, yeah, and I'll let you know my thoughts on what I think of this album ranking video and which albums are from worst to best. So let's dive into this album ranking video. Now, at number 5, we have Evolve. This was one of the worst albums, in my opinion. I personally do not like this album, and due to many reasons. Thunder. Believer's kind of a mixed baggage kind of song. Um, there is Yesterday, which is a really bad song. Mouth of the River was, it was fine. It wasn't great. I used to go through a big phase with Imagine Dragons for a time, but they're not that good, honestly. So, Dancing in the Dark was a really bad song too, and Start Over was, it was okay. It wasn't great. But Thunder, I fucking hate that song. I used to like it, but then I was like, oh shit, why did I like this song? So, 4 out of 10 I gave Evolve. It was one of the worst albums of 2017, and it still is one of the worst albums. So I put it at number 5 at the worst spot because 1, it's not a good album, and 2, there are some bad tracks on the album. A few bad tracks that really bring the rating down of the record. So, yeah, I hated Yesterday, Thunder, and Dancing in the Dark. So, yep, it's one of the worst records. I don't know why it's not a bad song, but it's not a perfect song. It's probably one of the stronger tracks, and so is Rise Up, despite there being a bridge part in the song that's kind of cringy. And Walking the Wire is not too bad. But Believer is a mixed baggage kind of song, and Whatever It Takes is kind of forgettable. So, yeah. Next to Me is not a bad song, but not a great one either. So, there's a lot of tracks on this album that were kind of cringy. So, yeah. I forgot to mention, I'll Make It Up to You. Not a bad song, it's decent. And Start Over was okay. I think I already mentioned that. The deluxe edition's not terrible. Roots is just, it's one of those iffy tracks. So, yeah. Next one is at number 4, which is Origins. Now, I'm not a huge fan of this album either. The reason why is because there are some songs, Digital, that was really bad. West Coast was annoying as fuck. Bullet in a Gun was not even good either. It was disappointing. Um, Zero was a bad song. I think from West Coast to after you get to Bad Liar and when you finish that song, you start to get to the cringy songs. And they're known for cringy songs. Not Stuck, Love is the song that I was trying to think of. I hated that song. It was so cheery. It was so annoying. Not annoying, it was just so bad and cringy. And the way it's coming off is as the song structurally, it's not a very good song. So yeah. Birds was okay. It wasn't great. And there was Burnout, which is not bad, but the falsettos Dan Reynolds does is kind of little cringy. But yeah, Bad Liar was probably the last track I really enjoyed by Imagine Dragons, and Natural was not bad. Boomerang was okay. Machine was actually solid. Um, but yeah, the first five songs are fine, but not fantastic in any way. But yeah, they're fine. For the Origins album, I mean, Only was solid. It wasn't a great song, but there are some moments where I like the song and some moments where I'm not sure if I like the song. So it's a mixed baggage kind of track. Next, at number four, I mentioned was uh, I forgot to mention Born to Be Yours and the 15th song, which I know their songs, Real Life. Real Life was, it was fine. It wasn't great. And Born to Be Yours was an average track. Next we have at number three, which is Mercury Act 1. My Life was a pretty strong track. Lonely was okay, but not great in any way. There were some moments where I did like the chorus a bit, but the sometimes I can get a little lonely thing, it kind of gets bothersome with Dan Reynolds' falsetto. Wrecked was one of the strongest tracks. It's about his sister that passed away due to cancer, which is really sad and really heartbreaking. I just went through something a little heartbreaking today too. Which I almost cried at a freaking Chili's because of it. Well, kind of did a bit, but yeah, I'll tell you in a moment what it was. Um, yeah, I'll tell you right after I finish the topic at hand. Monday was okay. It wasn't great. Then you have other songs like Number One. That was okay. Easy Come Easy Go was it was okay. Giants was okay too. Not great song. Well, actually, it wasn't a good song. It was kind of disappointing. And there was another song which was track 8, and that was alright. Dull Knives, couldn't stand that song. I did not like Dan Reynolds' scream. I know they were trying to make it a rock song, but come on. It wasn't good. In my opinion, it was not good. So I don't understand the hype about Dull Knives. Most critics are thinking, oh, it's the best song. Not really, honestly. For my take on it, I just personally didn't like it. With Dan Reynolds' scream, it kind of got ear aching and annoying. Follow You was, it was an track. But the worst song was Cutthroat, and then No Time for Toxic People was okay, but nothing special. The Every Day is My Birthday lyric is so annoying. So I was like, really? You're gonna sing that about a song called No Time for Toxic People? You should make better lyrics than that, Dan Reynolds. So yeah. And there's one more song, One Day, which is not a bad way to close the album. So it's one of the stronger albums, but it's in the middle with me, which I think it's disappointing, but at the same time, it's a mixed baggage kind of album. So they did a little okay on this album. Not great, but it's okay. I'm still giving it a 5.5 out of 10. It's a disappointing album, but the good part about it is there were a little bit well structured tracks that were sort of better. Next one is number 2, which is Smoke and Mirrors. That one wasn't a bad one. Gold was okay. Fall, I kind of did like a little bit. It is a 21 track album for everything that you're listening to the whole album. Monster, I didn't hate. Um, the song Battle Cry, I did not like that song. It went nowhere, honestly. So, yeah, didn't like that song. Um, there's the first track, which it's been a oh, that was what the first track was. Shots. Shots was kind of boring, honestly. I didn't hate it. I just found it to be dismissive of a track and kind of forgettable. So, in my opinion, I think it's okay, but not great. Smoke and Mirrors was not a bad song. Um, and then there's I'm So Sorry, which is fine. I Bet My Life was probably one of the strongest tracks, so I didn't hate that. The song Victim, I think is what it's called. Friction, that's what it's called. Friction was okay. It wasn't too bad. Um and then the song Polaroid, kind of cringy, but okay. It's not great, honestly. It's kind of a disappointing song. And then there's It Comes Back to You. And then Dream was actually not a bad song. I like the lyrics to it a little bit. Um Sort of. It just depends on which part in the song sounds better and all that, but yeah, there's other songs on there like um what is it? Trouble, which is okay, and I'm trying to think of some other ones. But basically, Smoke and Mirrors, I basically told you guys almost all the songs that are on that album, so I'm just going to wrap it up there with just basically talking about Smoke and Mirrors, and it's at my number 2 spot. It's an average album, or maybe a little mixed baggage kind of album, but it's decent. Next is the number 1 spot, which is Night Visions. This one was actually an average album. It's not great, but it's one of the stronger albums. Radioactive is not bad. Tiptoe was not bad, but could have been well structured better. Dan Reynolds' vocals in it is kind of cringy, but depending on how he's singing the song and the way he's singing it can come off a little cheesy. But Its Time was actually a pretty strong track. Demons was one of my favorite ones. On Top of the World is a little weird. Um, Not great, but it's got a weird, cheery melody, and I don't like cheery songs too much, depending on how it's well structured and executed. But yeah, then there's some other ones. Hear Me was actually a pretty solid song. Every Night kind of got repetitive, and it's decent, but it's not great in any way. Um, there's Amsterdam, which is not a bad song. It's solid. And then there's other tracks on the album, which there's like 22 tracks, maybe 23, depending on how many songs you're listening to. Cover Up was a solid song. And there's America, which I kind of like that song a little bit. That's on the deluxe edition, the special edition of the album. Round and Round was going in the same direction and getting a little repetitive, but it was in a good way. It was solid. So yeah. But yeah. Pretty much basically at number 1, Night Visions. There's uh Nothing Left to Say and Rocks was a pretty strong song. Not a great one in any way, but it was strong of a track. But yeah, there's other ones like Underdog, which is okay. Bleeding Out was okay too. And yeah, that's the first 11 songs I talked about. But basically, at number one, Night Visions. Can't remember every song from it. Cha-ching something. Uh, but that was kind of a little Till We Grow Older, Cha-ching or something like that is called. But it's okay. It's not great in any way, but yeah. That's gonna be it for this album ranking video. The unfortunate news I wanted to say was I had to go down to the vet or whatever, and we had to put down my cat, or my family cat, so it's pretty sad. It's been a little bit of a tough day because of that, but it's part of life, unfortunately. So, yeah, that was the disappointing news and the unfortunate news. It's not that I'm going to stop making videos, it's probably going to be a little weird being in my house now without a cat. So, yeah, it's pretty sad, unfortunately. So, send some thoughtful comments in the comment section, wishing me well and all that, hopefully. But comment below. Let me know what you guys thought of this long video for the album ranking for Imagine Dragons, if you enjoyed it. And if you enjoyed this special video, or this album ranking video I made for you guys tonight, comment below and let me know your thoughts on it. Tap a like on this video if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you can, support the channel. I used to be an Imagine Dragons fan, but with the songs they've been making, it's kind of cringy, in my opinion. But hey, it's just my opinion, at least. I don't hate the band and what they do. Their new album was a mixed baggage for me, but in a way, I think it could have been a little better executed with certain songs, except for Wrecked and My Life. Those songs were pretty strong tracks on the album, and One Day was not too bad either. But yeah, Mercury Act 2 is coming out this coming up summer, so you'll definitely see a review for me for that album. I hope you enjoyed this album ranking video. I'm sorry I had to give you guys some unfortunate news. It just came up. Well, we had to deal with that today, and I kind of did cry a bit. Uh, which it is a family cat, so it was part of my family. So, yeah, I'm a little torn because of that, but I think I'll be okay. It's just gonna take time. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this ranking video for album ranking video for Imagine Dragons. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay safe, take care, and as always, I'll see you in my next review.